Today we're creating Gothic home decor. Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own DIYs. Welcome. The first is going to be a Gothic butterfly pumpkin. I've got a variety of paints here. We have a silver. This is a very dark gray, and then this is black. There's barely a difference between the two. Got some paintbrushes. This little stand came in a box of goodies that a viewer has very generously sent me. I knew exactly what I wanted to use this for. This is a pumpkin that I have painted copper in the past, and we're going to give it a makeover. These are from Temu. Get whatever butterflies. You can use stickers, you can use cardboard, you could use cutouts, whatever you want to use from wherever you want to get them. Just letting you know where mine came from. I'm going to paint this entire thing, the chalkboard, black first. Whole thing. I'm using a brush with long hairs or bristles so that it can get down in all those little recessed areas in the design. It's like a filigree design. I'm going to take the dark gray or the slate gray, and I'll use that on the pumpkin while the stand is drying. I don't want to give a full heavy coat here. I want to have some of this copper still showing through because this is going to have a lot of dimension. Just wait until you see how it turns out. I'm very pleased, very pleased. So I will concentrate the color on the bottom and the top. I am not focusing on the ribs of the pumpkin at this point because we're going to do something a little bit different in those for some additional dimension. I'm not going to paint the stem. We're going to leave it like it is. And you can see how it looks. You can see the lighter areas where the copper shows through. This is a matte paint, so I'm just going to go ahead. You'll see the color changes slightly. I'm going to dry it. And then once both of these pieces are dry, we are going to, well, first I'm going to go over this bottom piece with some of the chalkboard paint. Now, I realize when I'm looking at this, without my glasses, of course, that you might not notice that much of a difference to the eye when you first do this. I am dry brushing this slate gray over the top of the black. It is very subtle. You can hardly see it on the camera, but in person, it definitely makes a difference. It brings out all the highlights of the curves and the filigree and the different sections on here, right? Because this is going to go right on the outside pieces, and that black is going to create the shadows that are on the lowest part. I think y'all understand what I mean by that. All right. Once that is done, I'm going to go over it with a little bit of heat just to dry it quickly. Then I am going to grab some of the black, the chalkboard black, on my little chippy brush, and I'll go between each of the ribs. Now, it's not important that you go between every one. If you have a pumpkin like mine that is more of a natural look, that has ribs that are very, very close, you could just choose where you want to do it. You know, space it out and just choose where you want to do it. And it's going to the eye, it will change the shape of the pumpkin somewhat. I love what it does. Absolutely love what it does. You can tell the difference already. You see that? Yeah, I really, really like that look. And of course, if you don't like the look and you don't want to do it that way, that is totally fine, but it's a lot of layering going on this pumpkin, okay? So hang with me, stay with me now, y'all. Don't give up on me yet. Dry that layer, and then I'll grab some more of that sterling silver. This is just on a bath sponge that I've torn into pieces, and I got it at Dollar Tree. This is really good for a textured look, and we're just going to pounce this all over the pumpkin. Don't push it down into the recessed areas because we made those black intentionally, right? So we want this to go all over the top. We're just lightly pressing this down. If you're enjoying or learning anything from this channel today, I would love it if you would subscribe and help me reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers by Halloween. I thank you so very much. All right, so we're just going to keep on. Look at all the dimension. It almost looks like ash or like it was burned, but you can still see that copper underneath. Oh, I love this. It just looks like tarnished, rusty metal. It's just giving me so many Gothic vibes. And I really do hope you like this, that you will try this on a pumpkin. It's just paint. If you don't like it, you paint over it, right? Yes, exactly what I wanted. Now the center of this little stand here is depressed, and I need it to be raised up somewhat so that the bottom of this pumpkin will sit flush with it. And I am just going to use some of this mounting tape to do that. This is just a double stick gel type tape. I believe it is called nano tape. It's referred to as nano tape. And anybody in the comments, you want to tell me what it's called at Walmart? I think it's alien tape. You can put that in the comments to make it easier for people to find. I'll have it linked though in the comments where I get it. All right, so I want to make sure that the pretty side of the pumpkin, the right tilt of the little knob on top, and the legs are all in the right order. Once I know it's where I like it, I'm going to press it firmly in place. If you don't have the depression in yours, just use some hot glue, whatever type of glue you want to use. Okay, now I'm going to turn it where I want the front to be, and I'll grab those little, they're not stickers, they're like a magnet. They have a little magnet piece in there, so you could really put them on anything metal. But these have little skulls all over them. They are a butterfly, they're not a moth. You can see it's like a swallowtail. You can bend these to change so that they're not exactly flat. You can bend them to change the shape slightly. They're like a PVC plastic type stuff. And then I'm just going to decide where I want to put it. Now, the design I'm using on here is not anything new. Lots of people have done this, and a lot of places are selling items like this, where you have like a swirl of butterflies or moths around the pumpkin. That's what I'm doing. This is just my own spin on it because I'm really trying to drive home the point that when you make something your own, and you really enjoy it, it just changes the whole entire piece. We could all do an orange pumpkin with a black butterfly if we wanted to, but if you want your home to be unique and really reflect how you feel you want your home to look, then, go ahead and make some of those decisions on your own. Make some decisions to change it. You could use monarch butterflies. You can make this more of a rustic look if you want to. But with the metallics and the black and with these little skulls on the black and white butterflies, it just screams Gothic to me. Let me know what you think. I could also have added a little bit of glitter or paint to these black and white butterflies. I did a little bit of practicing and I just did not like it. For me, it just felt right to leave them like this. I'm just going to continue that swirl up to top. I see that I have like the medium size. There's a larger one in the pack, but it just to me was overwhelming. So I used the medium, and then all of the small ones will trail up to the top. And it will end with one solitary butterfly right on top of the stem. And I like the look of that very, very much. And here's one sitting right up there by herself. Hey, I just want to say thank you. I always want to let you know that you're welcome on my channel. We don't talk politics or religion or anything of the such. We keep it positive in the comments and positive and supportive all over the place in this channel. So whatever brought you here today, I am very happy to welcome you with open arms. We have a lot of fun over here. We get very creative, and I'm always offering a ton of encouragement. So I want you to feel welcome here if you are new, and if not, thank you for staying with me all this time. It's been 4 years, y'all. Okay, so this is how this beautiful pumpkin is going to look. Look at all of the dimension and the color in that pumpkin. I love this. And like I said, I just left the stem the way it was. Take liberties, change things up however you see fit. You can make yours silver. You could paint it black. I'll always tell you that if it's something that you really enjoy and like, it doesn't matter what other people think about it. It's your home. It's your surroundings. You need to do what makes you happy. And not just in crafting, but in your entire life, right? We hold the reins. Okay, so the next is going to be a Gothic chain of photos. This is a piece I've thrifted, and I've actually used it for a Christmas DIY on another person's channel. Arrows DIY, if y'all want to see that. And then I have some stickers, and these are actually bottle labels. I've got some of that beautiful copper and some chalkboard black, a chippy brush, a paintbrush. I'm going to start off by using the copper. And I'm going to go all over these framed pieces. I liked the way it looked to begin with, but I figured, you know what? Let's just play around. Let's play around, like I said a moment ago, to just paint. If I don't like it, I'll go back over it. But I really love this beautiful, dark and deep copper. Hey members, you know I love you. Thank you so much for your support and your continued encouragement for everything I do on my channel. Thank you, thank you. And also thank you to everybody who's here. So once you've continued all the way around, all the way down to the bottom, and you've also done your chains, we're also going to pounce that all over the chain. I'm going to take the black, take a lot of that off, and I will dry brush each of the frame pieces. Just dragging it over there, it's going to get right on the top. See the difference? And the idea for me is having these looking aged. I think with the Gothic, it doesn't look clean. I think the crustier, the older, the more tarnished it looks, the more convincing it is of the age. So that's why I do it this way. I'm going to go over with that same paint all over where we painted the chain copper. I'm going to dry it off. And you can see that I painted the backs in the copper also. Now I'm going to use these like little pictures in here. They're going to be little photos, like the perfect size for this. All I have to do is trim it a little bit. So to do that, I am going to put the pictures right underneath the frame. Trying to keep them in line, because if you don't, then you're going to have a crooked picture. And then I'll take a pencil, mark the back on each one. You don't want to mark on the front necessarily, because then you have to erase it off. So if you can do the back, that's usually better. Now, since I know this is the inner ring or the inside, I'm going to need to leave this a little bit larger than my pencil mark, because we don't want it to fall through the frame. So I'm going to leave it a little bit larger. Just go on the outside of where I made my ovals. Very easy to do. Yes. Now I'll take a felt sheet. You see this is a firm felt. I'm pretty sure you can get those at any craft store, but I did thrift like 12 of these, and I love using them for backings. They're just perfect for this. And they're flexible, but they're still firm. They're great to use, just in my opinion. So we're going to peel these stickers, and I'm just going to place them down on the felt and push them down and rub them into place. They're going to grab a hold to the fibers on that felt, and they'll stay on there without you needing any additional glue. Again, right to the outside of that oval, just right to the outside. I will cut those out, each one of those, and they will press right down into the frame. Now, if you need to, you can put some hot glue on yours. I'm not going to need it for mine. I'll go over, because you can still see the white, and I'll go over and just pounce a little bit of that black paint all the way around the edges, so when it's in the frame, it just has a shadowed or cameo look. I just love it when there are things that need to be fixed, and then you fix it.
Get ready for the ultimate Christmas crafting experience. Join Sammy from Unicorn Dust Designs, Brandy from Making It My Own DIY, Kendra from Late Night Creations, and Kay and Trish from Crafting Cousins for Christmas Crafting Live. We will have two themes, Santa and Nativity. Purchase your kit now by clicking the link below. Deadline to order kits is Monday, September 2nd to ensure we can get yours to you in time for the party. Christmas Crafting Live, Saturday, September 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern.
We moved that deadline up to the last day of August because our maker will be out of town. All right. So now that we have our little cameos ready, we're going to give them a little burst of heat, get them dried. Be careful though, you don't want to melt or bend anything. And then once they're dry, you can just pop them right into the back. And for me, mine just stayed. They were just the right size. Don't you love it when something works out? I really do. Y'all, it's the small things, and it should be the small things, right? I'm learning every day to be grateful for every small thing. If yours don't fit, go around it with a little bit of hot glue. If it's trying to pop out, just go around it. Now I decided to even out my ovals, add just a little bit more in there to really give it some depth. And I like the way this looks. I could almost see this hanging at an apothecary, you know? Just hang it in there, just have it looking real cute. You could have this hanging off of a pegboard, or you could have it hanging off of a little, you know, your chest or whatever you're using to decorate, your coffee bar. You could put it anywhere. Anywhere. You can hang it off of a cabinet knob. I did thrift this piece, so you could always make your own though, with some little frames and some chain. But I hope you like this piece. Really easy and quick to do, but I think it does have quite a bit of impact. I love it. It brings me joy. All right, the next is a Gothic jewelry box. I love this paper. I'm going to grab this black and white paper. This is a little box I recently thrifted. It already had this little foam in it, so maybe this was a jewelry box of some sort. It's just a little wood box, very plain. It's got, I guess somebody replaced the clasp in the front, and we're going to do better. We're going to do better, y'all. Grab up some more of that dark gray and some more of that same silver, my little sponge. And then here's the hardware. I ordered mine from Temu. Get yours wherever you like. Wherever you like. You could even take it off of another piece. It comes with these little screws. All right, I'm going to start by removing the flimsy pieces here. I'm not worried about keeping these in place, keep them in order, because I know that I'm going to use more decorative pieces on mine. I'm just going to put these in the trash. If you recycle, throw it in with your metals and go ahead and recycle it. We're going to fix it. It's going to be so much better. I know you will agree. Now, it has already been cleaned. I am just going to sand it off. I'm going to sand off, not that it's rough, it's pretty well done, but I want to get off any little bumps, any little snags, because I want this to look like a metal box in the end. I'm also going to round out the corners with my sanding block. They are foam, which makes it great for this because you can press down and it gives you the room to do that. Just going to round them out slightly. And then I'll go around just the whole box and do this. If it needs to be done on the inside of the lid and bottom, you could do it there as well. Be sure anytime that you sand that you then wipe it off. I'm just wiping it with a dry paper towel. Didn't have a lot of, oh, I'm thinking fallout, and that is not the word. Sawdust. There we go. Sawdust. But I'm going to wipe it out really well anyway. Okay, now I'm just going to set this on a piece of plastic that I'm recycling. Protect my tabletop, which you know I'm still going to have paint everywhere. Let's just be realistic and honest about it. It's going to be all over my hands and probably some on my nose and my hairline and everything else. You know how we do it over here. Okay, so I'm going to continue along and I'm going to paint this whole thing. I'm going to be careful not to paint on top of my metal hinges. I'm going to paint up to it, and the flat edge of this brush makes it great to make a nice line. You can see how easy that is. It's all in the tools you use, y'all. Pick the right brushes for the projects that you're doing. I'm going to open it up once it's dry, and then I will go around the inside walls with the black as well. I don't need to paint the bottom flat surface of it because we're doing something different. All right, so my chippy brush, I've gotten almost all the black out of it. I'm just going to add a little bit of silver, and then I'm pushing this down over all of those screws because we want the screws to have the same finish as the rest of the hinge, clasp, whatever you want to call it, lock, mechanism, whatever. Go over that. I am just, it's a little more than a dry brush. I'm pressing down a little more than that, but I don't want to get it into the recessed areas. There's a lot of detail in these two, really, really pretty pieces, and I don't want to destroy the dimension that's already there. Now, for this sponge piece, I am going to use a piece of recycled cardboard that it's got some spray paint on it. I didn't intentionally do that. I just cut it out so that it will go on the back of here. I want to add some of my Quick and Thick, and I am going to spread it on here like I'm putting butter on bread. Okay, and I'm going to chase it across the table, just like that. And then I'll put that in place. I'm leaving a little space around the edge of it just because when I cut it out, it turned out that way. You can put some weight on it, flip it upside down, give it a little time to dry. Then I'm going to take a piece of felt. No, not felt. No, that is not what that is. This is a little bit of fabric that I had left for some pants from another project that I did. And I'm going to use that beautiful velour and I'm going to fold it around this sponge because this is going to be the bottom and this is going to be the place where we put the jewels. You know, if you have rings and things like that, you would want to be able to cut some little slits in here to slip the bottom of the rings or the earrings or, you know, whatever, down into it. So we want to fake that that's what we're doing here. But if you want to use this for your actual jewelry, you can certainly do that. I'm just going to show you what it would look like as a prop. And we'll fold our ends in and glue those down as well. And I know it looks kind of funky there on the end. It looks kind of puckered, but when you push it into the box, that won't matter. We can't get too precise about everything, can we? We certainly can on this channel because I don't do the math. I don't do the numbers. So there we go. And now you can't see it at all. It just blends in with the sides. Perfect. Perfect for my intents and purposes. Now I'm going to grab some Mod Podge. I'm just going to be using it on the bottom, so it doesn't matter what finish that you use. I'm using matte. Variety of what I use is matte. Majority, rather, is what I... Okay, yes. A majority, my preference, there we go, is matte Mod Podge. Y'all, what is happening to me? Anyway, so I'm going to put that down all over the bottom. I'm going to try to make it kind of even. I don't want any gaps or I don't want any bumps or anything in there that's going to cause wrinkles. And I'll just press it down. That's not a heavy coat. That's a light coat. You could also use glue stick, but I didn't think I could get into the corners good enough with a rounded glue stick. So this is why I did the Mod Podge. Then I'll use my little squeegee tool. You could even use a credit card, a store card, a shopping card, a driver's license, whatever you have to do that. Just press it down, make a nice, beautiful decorated top. Y'all, I have done lots of black and white type decor. I sure have, and I really, really, really enjoy it. You can get paper, by the way, similar to that print at Dollar Tree. It's in the contact paper over in the kitchen area. That's where it is in my stores, or where the glasses and cups are. So you can get some contact paper if you want to do that, if you like that print. Okay, so we're going to give that time to dry, and we're going to put the new latch on here. Y'all, I absolutely love this. So I'm going to put it together, set it down right over where the original holes were because they were actually in the right spot. And I'm going to use the tip of my little screwdriver to just make some holes in here to give me guides for where I want to put my screws, and it also helps hold the screw in place. You can see the new spots there? It's going to help hold that screw in place while I screw it down because they are tiny. So just to cheat a little bit, I'm going to add a little hot glue to help me hold this in place so it's not wiggling around while I'm trying to put the screw in. How do you like that little tip? Yep, you don't need a lot. It's definitely not going to hold it without the screws. It will pop off because it's metal, but it will help you hold it in place while you get your hardware down. Just like that. And you know what I like about this particular little clasp is that you can actually turn that bottom side the other way and it gives it a completely different look. It still snaps. It's gorgeous. It's pretty. It's just my opinion. You could always take something off of a thrifted piece that you have and use that hinge. How about that? Really stretch your dollar. Now I'm going to screw this in, and yes, it looks terribly aggressive. I don't want that screw to run away from me, so I'm making sure that I hold it. You see how tiny it is? Even in my little bitty hands. My little bitty painted hands, because you see, I never disappoint when it comes to that. Now we're going to go in and do the bottom section too. And I love it. I love it. Now, doesn't that look so much better? So much more high end? Yes, absolutely. By the way, that's only one coat of that dark gray paint on the box. Only one. Now I'm going to go with my little sponge and my brush. No, with my sponge and my paint. And I'm going to get this all over here. Y'all, it's one of those days again where I'm struggling with my words. I did not feel good yesterday. I had a lazy day. I had a headache. I could barely make myself work. And I feel like today I'm still a little bit trying to get myself back in order. So please forgive me in this video. Do not let this one video deter you from subscribing on my channel. I promise. It gets better. It really does get better. We all have those days though, you know? Speaking of, thank you to everybody who's been so kind and commented and responded about my situation and my kids and everything. I'm not going to go on and on about it because I choose to focus on everything that's positive, but I just want you to know I read all my comments, every one of them. And if I don't comment on what you put in the comments, I am still going to be giving you a heart and a thumbs up. And some people are actually going to get blocked because they're very nasty, but most people are fantastic and I love it. Okay, so once the silver has dried, I'm going to go back over with some black and my chippy brush. This is just to darken back over the areas that I need to darken. If you have any spots that are a lot more silver or any blobs, this is going to help soften that look and make it look much better. You can look at this as a galvanized piece. You can look at this as a tarnished silver piece. Totally up to you. I'm going over the hinges with the black, so I want it to look tarnished and old. And this is how it's going to look. You see how I got heavier all around those edges? All right, so you can also do the inside edges of the box if you want to. I didn't do it because I forgot, frankly. Now I'm going to show you some ideas of staging this. I've got some little buttons. I've got some little crystals and things that have been thrifted because I like to pick those up. I like to pick them off of other things. This one's broke at the top, but we're going to use it. And keep in mind that if you're using hot glue to place these down, like I'm trying to make them look like rings that are pushed into here, be very light on the amount of glue you use because the silverish color that's on the back of the little backing for the rhinestones can chip off, and then you'll see your hot glue, and you don't want it to look sloppy, right? Now, this is like a hollowed out button, but I thought it looked like a snake, so I decided to use it, thought it was appropriate. And these are they're little black spiders with red in the middle that are for jewelry pieces, so you could make earrings or whatever with them. But we're going to pretend like they're actual earrings, and we're going to press them down into there. Okay? Now, y'all bought some new wax. I got this from Amazon. This is not a sponsored thing. I just wanted to try it because that black paper in the top needs to look kind of old, doesn't it? So I'm going to pounce it in, take it off. It's like a gel type texture. It's not runny like what you get in the bottles, like the antiquing wax I normally use. So I see so many possibilities with this. I really, really like it. And the container is enormous. I'm going to try to link this for you if you're interested in something that's more of this consistency. Because it is a big, big container. Look at it though. Man, with a fluffy brush. Woo! And then I'm getting all over the sides here, and it's not going to wet the paper. I love it. Look. That's exactly the look that I wanted. Now I have just a Raven sticker. And y'all, I'm sorry I can't tell you where I got it from. I've had these since the scrapbook days. I have had several of these little bubble looking ones, and I save them and I reuse them over and over. But I haven't used the Raven yet. So we're going to put it in this box because I think it's perfect. Why not? This beautiful, elegant Gothic lady probably has a great love for all things Raven. You know she loves spiders. This is how this little beauty's going to look. I'm obsessed. I love this. This would be so cute as a treasure box. If you don't do jewelry, you could put markers in it. You could put secret letters in here, love letters, love notes. You could use it as a recipe box in your house if you wanted to. You could put bath bombs in here. You could put your treasured caramels and Reese's peanut butter cups in here. So many options. So many. If you like black licorice, red licorice, put that in there. And I hope that you are in love with this piece as much as I am. It's just a little bit of whimsy and a whole lot of Gothic. And I know a lot of you are totally into that look, so I hope that you're pleased with these 3 projects. Check out the rectangle below, and I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for stopping by.